So we're going to start with the fundamentals of QuickBook. So we're going to looking at the basics for now, for today, just like an overview of QuickBooks. Here are the outlines we're working with. The overview of the company we are going to be analyzing right now. How to set up a company from scratch on QuickBooks. And also we're going to be working on dashboard. Dashboard is like a visualization of how the chart of account will be presented. Then we're going to do a simple report, cash flow report, balance sheet report, and income statement. So this is going to be the home page of the QuickBooks, where we have business name, industry, business type, admin's email, employer's ID, business address. So I gave an illustration, a scenario we're going to be working with today. And for QuickBooks, one unique thing about working with accounting software is that it helps ease your workflow. If you're working as an accountant and what you're based on is Excel alone, Excel is like you just doing the basics. Yeah, you're just doing the basics. Excel alone will not really deeply give you that insight you need and how you're going to classify most of your accounts. So QuickBook is there to save the day. It has a lot of entries. It has a lot of balancing. Yours is just to understand the principles behind this and work around the software, right? You work around the software. Accounting software, especially QuickBook, is broad. If you don't really understand the principles, that's the first step to it. Basic nature of principles of account. If you don't really understand it, you will not know how to navigate through the software. There are some portions of invoices, when you are writing invoices on QuickBook, that you might need knowledge on how to classify those invoices before you can write them. If not, at some point you just do some wrong postings and it will affect the whole nature of the transaction of the financial statement. And another thing about QuickBooks is that it helps streamline your workflow. If you're doing basic bookkeeping, like we know, recording with books, you're keeping those records on paper, and let's say you started from trial balance, extracting an account, final report, and the rest. At some point, you might not, especially when the business is a business that grows rapidly, you might not be able to keep up with those records, because a day transaction alone can be up to like probably 50 pages of different business transactions. You're buying, you're selling, you're receiving cash from receivables, you're making payments to payables, you get. So most of those transactions might be much on your book and you might not be able to record them. So at this point, that's where accounting software comes in. It helps streamline your workflow, and also it also helps you to reduce errors. You might not really know all the principles in accounts. You might not really know how to classify accounts. You might not really know everything about posting. But in QuickBooks, once you get the journal entries right, then your posting is going to be correct in all accounts. So it's going to post to every single account. Let's take for instance now, we bought office stationery, 20k. You recorded it, you journalized it, right? So there are some accounts that will receive those inflows. Now cash must, if you're buying with cash, you're not paying on credit, cash account must be affected. So in our accounting principles, most of those cash accounts is not really the cash you have in hand, especially when you're buying, because most businesses now operate with bank. So your cash account is going to be classified as your bank account, right? Your cash account is going to be classified as your bank account. So at that point, when you start recording, your bank account is going to be credited when you've made payment, right? Then the supplier's account is also going to be affected. So most of those classifications At the end of the day, you now have what we call an expense account for that item. This is going to be an office stationery expense account. So this movement from expense, suppliers account, bank account, if you're doing it with paperwork, take for instance, you're having like 50 different transactions in one day. You might not be able to classify all those transactions like that with pen or with your Excel, your basic Excel. You just do posting like that. But QuickBook will help you sort out all this once you just do the journal entry for it. So I'm going to be showing you guys how this works and how the journal entry works for this app. So firstly, we are going to be creating a company. So this is not a real company. This is an assumed company. We're working on assumption for this company. I don't know if you guys can still hear me before I continue.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So we're working on assumptions for this company. Now we assume that we are going to be working with a company that's into manufacturing, and one of the sectors we sought out for that, one of the industry we sought out for that was the construction industry. This company, they are into the construction of blocks. They make block for selling purpose, right? So they make blocks for selling purpose to those estates that wants to build. Now, what's the name of this company? The name of this company is VDEC Manufacturing. That is the assumed name we're going to be using. VDEC Manufacturing. So for VDEC Manufacturing, we are assuming that we are assuming that um, they are into the selling of blocks. They are into the production of blocks, sorry, for selling purpose. Now the name of the business name on that space now you see on my screen. If you can't see the screen clearly, kindly zoom it from your end. I said we should use our laptop, our laptop to work on this class. We are not going to be using our phones because most of these items I'm going to be narrating here, you can't really see them clearly on your phone. But if you have a system, you can be able to see my screen. Just increase the screen from the Google Meet. You're going to see what I'm doing clearly. Now the name of the business is VDEC. I sent this illustration to the group. So we're going to be using the name of the business as VDEC Manufacturing. So VDEC Manufacturing is the name of the business. I'll just copy this and paste. So VDEC Manufacturing Limited, that was the name of the business. The second thing on this, on creating this business is the actors for the industry where they belong. Now, for a business like this, the industry they usually belong is the construction industry. But now we're dealing with a manufacturing firm, so we're going to classify them under manufacturing industry. So you click on your QuickBook. You see where they wrote "Help me choose." I don't know for those guys that are actually following with their system. Help me choose. So you click on that help me choose. You look for a manufacturing business here. So why we are doing this is because the QuickBook is actually structured in a way that suits each sector you choose. If I'm choosing an insurance agency or broker, most of my class of accounts on the QuickBook is going to be structured on insurance agency. So I'm choosing the manufacturing. You double click on it and click on OK. So that has been selected. Business type. This business type is what is they call it the structure of the business. Is it structured like a limited liability company, a partnership firm, or a public limited company? Now for this business, we are going to be structuring it in this form. We are going to assume that it's owned by 3 people. We are going to assume that this company is owned by 3 people and it's a private limited liability firm. So since it's owned by 3 people, it's going to be a multi-member LLC. So a multi-member limited liability company is what we're going to be structuring it as. So when you click on this, you're going to see them for single member, 1 person, For multi-member, 3 persons. So these 3 people are owned. They are the co-founders of this block industry. So we're going to be using this. On the email, it's already structured with my email, so that I can change it later. Then employer's ID number. Most times this employer's ID number are usually the business tax ID. Yeah, they're usually structured as the business tax ID for that purpose. So for now, we're going to assume something. We're just going to assume a number for that because we're not working with a real business. So we're going to assume this number. Phone number. That's the business phone number. We're going to be assuming this. Address as well. We're going to assume address. Okay. For the business address, we're going to be assuming this. Then for the city where it belongs, let's use Suleja. Zip code. Let's use the zip code of Suleja. Then state. We're going to based on this. Then others on the countryside, we're going to be using others. These are the information we are going to be filling on the business. Then after doing this, you're going to click on next to start. So you're going to click on create company to start. Okay. For 5. Yes. Alright, so I'm going to click on create company to start.